What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So in the previous episode you seen that we got the car in the garage, so we just need to get the engine inside of the garage and walk through and see what we actually gonna be doing on it. So let's get the engine in the garage. Now, as you can see, we got the engine inside of the garage. So one of the engine mount brackets already missing on the side. We got some various leaks on this side of the engine already. Also, we got a few bolts missing all around it as well, which is a rocket cover. Not a single bolt is here. Wiring loom is all loose. This engine hasn't been started for 5 years now, so I'm not too sure how is the inside of the engine looks like. So we're gonna be checking everything with a camera as well. There's no screws in the coil packs. So our plan on this engine now at the moment is to take out the rocket cover, change the rocket cover gaskets, change the inlet manifold, because upgrading this manifold to the M52, and this engine is M54. So basically you have bigger ports inside of the manifold, so this is gonna give you more air. So more air, more fuel, more power. Simple as that. Let me show you around. So that's M54B28. That's a double furnace engine. This specific engine is from 5 Series Bmw, which is gonna be E39. We're gonna be changing the inlet manifold. We're gonna be upgrading it. We got one already inside of the car, so we're just gonna swap it. Also, we need to change the rocket cover gaskets. Not too sure how the coil plugs are in this engine, because you can see, let's say for the first cylinder, it's not the cleanest one, but I'm sure it's gonna be fine. This engine haven't run for 5 years, so I am not too sure what's going on inside. So we're gonna be checking all the cylinders inside with the camera to make sure there's no rust or any debris inside. Also, as you can see, there is some leaks in here, but I believe this leak comes from the rocket cover gasket in here in the top. So anyway, we're gonna be changing that. And like I said, not a single bolt is here, so we have to source for those bolts. I already ordered the bolts for the gearbox, and I ordered the washers for this. Also, I ordered bolts for the flywheel, because there is no bolts again, and ordered those bolts for the coil packs. So let's open inside and check what we have. First thing first, we need to take out the coil packs. Then we can take out the rocket cover gasket, and already no good news. This engine wasn't maintained very well, so we got a lot of unburned oil, well actually burned oil, and it's quite dirty, so not too sure how it's all gonna be inside of the engine. Camshafts looks pretty good, but all the rest is very dirty. Chain doesn't seem to be loose. That looks okay. So let's take a torch and check it with a light inside. Yeah, so basically what we have inside is pretty much, it's not the best engine. I can see that it wasn't maintained well, because let me take the camera, I'm gonna show you. As you can see, everything in here is covered in unburned oil. So this is what happens when you don't change your oil regularly. Every single place in here is pretty much dirty. So after installing the engine, first thing is gonna be the engine flush. Otherwise we would need to separate the head from the block and get it cleaned. We got some rubbish inside here. Also, I saw somewhere else as well. Also look at that, this corner in here. Well, it's not the healthiest engine by the looks at it. At least the top. At least the top now. I wonder what's in the bottom as well. The good news is that the camshaft looks okay. Doesn't seem a lot of wear on it. It's seen better days, but it's not too bad. It's still gonna be running pretty well. I wonder how's the harness, because this is the most of your power goes from, and by the state of it, I'm not sure if it's in the best condition. It would be good to replace them. Well, not to replace them, but to do a repair kit on this. So regarding the engine bay, let's check it what we need to do in the engine bay before we're doing a engine installation. So first thing is gonna be to remove the crossbar. To do this, we're gonna try to make this removable, because obviously in E30s this one stays in the place. So when you're trying to take out the engine, you have problems like that. Of course, this crossbar is not in a perfect condition. It's far from the perfect condition. It's quite rusty and it needs proper cleaning. And I think this crossbar was already changed. Not too sure if you can see it, but there is like welds on it, which is supposed to be a spot welds. Also, we will need to remove everything in here. So, because it's just not gonna fit, it's gonna disturb the corner of the engine in here. So we will need to remove all this side. I'm hoping that we can still use the same subframe and we can mount this engine straight on it. Of course, we got a different engine brackets, so this should work, should not too sure. We're gonna follow the process and we're gonna find it out. This is my first time doing the 2.8 conversion into the E30. So this is my first time doing 2.8 conversion to the E30. So I have not a lot of experience of doing engine swaps to the cars. I've done few engine swaps on my E34, but that was a different story because he had V12 inside, but the previous owners was already installed that V12. So I just keep on taking out and put in new engines inside. So I blow up 3 engines. So I can say I've done, like, it wasn't a swap, but still. And also I've done some work on the engine on my E38 in the past. So I know a little bit, but about this, nah, not so many. But hey, I'm willing to learn, and I think it's gonna be a fun process to watch as well. And also I can watch back the videos and check it what I've done wrong and learn from that and do something better than that. So what we're gonna start first on. First we're gonna do the top rocket cover gaskets. Then we're gonna do the manifold. After the manifold, engine mount brackets, and that's gonna be ready to work on the chassis, which is gonna be, like I said before, we will need to take out the crossbar. This is gonna be a nightmare job and it's gonna take a while to do it. But before putting the engine into the car, I would like to install the pedal box as well, because I'm not too sure if that pedal box is gonna fit inside of the car. because we got a cylinders which is mounted in the back of the pedal box, and I'm not too sure if there's going to be enough room in a firewall to get the pedal box in a comfortable position. But let's not think about that now, because we are not there yet. This is going to be in a future episodes as well. What else I can tell you about this E30? Originally was 1.6 petrol, so there was quite weak engine. Well, after installing this engine, it's going to be much more power, because as you know, those E30s are pretty light and they're getting quite classy cars, and it's very hard to find them. Also, we will need to take 2 prop shafts, which is original from this one, and I got another one from E36 compact, I think so, and we will need to split them in the middle, and one side it has to be E30 and other side has to be from the E36. So I'm hoping it's all gonna match without any issues or a lot of welding. Let's start working on the top of the engine. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the air line and I'm gonna blow all the stuff that's inside of the engine away. Then I will put a little bit oil on the camshaft because it looks very dry, and afterwards gonna start replacing all the gaskets. Everything is now cleared. I can't see any big chunks of rubbish anymore inside. I'll put some oil on the camshafts, so when we're gonna try to turn the engine over by hand, it's gonna be just a more smooth and easier to turn it over. So now I'm gonna take out those 2 gaskets in here and I'm gonna replace them with the brand new ones. And afterwards I'm gonna take a rocket cover and install a new gasket on top as well. Afterwards, I'm gonna replace the spark plugs, and also I'm gonna be checking every single cylinder with the camera to make sure there is no debris, rust or anything else inside. To remove those 4 bolts, you will need 10mm socket, and there's like 4 bolts in here which is holding those 2 gaskets. That's tight. That's very tight, surprisingly. We got a full set of gaskets, so that's our rocket servo cover gasket and also ignition coil gaskets as well. So if you're doing that kind of job, I would recommend to replace everything, so it wouldn't be any air leaks afterwards, and it's just a, peace of mind. And now we can tighten it up, but this time we're just gonna be using wrench for this, because when you're going with the impact, it just moves from the place. Okay, so that's done. Let's move on the next step. So the rocket cover and the rocket cover gaskets are in. Now there's like one very important thing to do, and there is to change those rubber seals. They go around the rocket cover on every single nut. So in time they're getting very hard and they're starting to leak, and afterwards you're getting a misfire. So it's better to change them as well as you go. They don't cost a lot, they're I ordered 12 of them from the BMW and I paid about, I think, £7 or something like that. It wasn't too expensive, but it's needed to change because there was few of them left in here and it was rock solid. As we got all them in, we can start putting the bolts all around it and make it tight, and afterwards we're gonna take out the spark plugs. All the rocket cover is now tightened except the middle section because I'm still short of 4 bolts in this area, but that's not a issue. So now I'm gonna start taking out the spark plugs and see how they are, and then we're gonna replace it with new ones. All the spark plugs are synced in oil, but it's not an issue now because we changed the gasket, so it's not gonna be leaking anymore after this. Let's take everything out. Right, all spark plugs out, and as you can see, they definitely seen some better days. Out. Now we're gonna turn the laptop on and connect the camera so we can check the cylinders and check if there's any damage in there. Right, so we're gonna start with the cylinder 1 and we're gonna try to look what do we have inside. We see the piston and it's in the top position. It doesn't look there's any rust or debris inside. Number 3. What are we gonna find in number 3? Again. Where is that? It looks like some water, but it doesn't seem that there is a rubbish or any rust in there, so that's a good news so far. This number 4. Right, the side. Again, it doesn't seem that there is a scratch in here. You can see that. It's not gonna affect too much, hopefully. What is that? There you go. Some kind of rubbish. I wonder what is that? Right, so we found something in a cylinder 4. There's something definitely inside. Not too sure what is it, but I'm gonna try to blow it out with the air line. So number 4 has some rubbish inside. Right, number 5. Right, number 5 has a scratch in here. Again, there is some. What is that? It's very hard to tell, but there's like a spot of water or something. All the rest is okay, but there's like few wonder spots. And the last one, number 6, is gonna be on the top. So cylinder number 1, 2 and 3 is fine. Number 4 has some rubbish inside. Number 5 has a weird spot of water. So number 6 cylinder is in the top position, so I cannot tell anything about the boy if it's scratched or something else, but we definitely need to put an air line in number 4 and try to blow that debris or whatever it is inside out. So let's try to get it out. So I managed to blow out that rubbish from the cylinder 4, so now it's nice and clear, so we can install the last spark plug. The reason why I put spark plugs first, it was in a war scenario. Let's say you blow out some rubbish from here, it goes up and it goes to the other one, and it's a game, you know. You might miss it, you might not, so it's better to be safe. Alright, so the last one. All the spark plugs now are changed. We can install the coil packs back in place. There is no big difference which place it goes because they are exactly the same. Brand new bolts from BMW as well. That's it. The top is done. Now we can start working on this side. So you just need to unbolt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts in total, and it should come out pretty easy.
You know how hard it gets when I'm alone and in my head. You know how time just starts when you run, and I'm mad. All my fears are coming alive. I cannot see you be shining so bright. All my beauty's lost on you. Give me a hug, give me love, get around if I wanted to. Give me a hug, give me love, get around if I wanted to.
Manifold is out. Everything in here looks okay. Obviously there is some rubbish in here, but it's better not to disturb them so they wouldn't fall into our valves. So after putting the manifold back together, I noticed that one of the pipes are broken. So when I was changing the pipes, I decided to do a little cheat, and I'm deleting this vacuum from the manifold because it's not really necessary. So what I've done, I just blocked one of the pipes so the vacuum stays in a place in the intake manifold and it doesn't go to any other sources. It's really not necessary to have a lot of vacuums around the engine. If you can delete something, you delete it. It's still gonna work exactly the same as it was working before. It's just gonna be less hassle and less things to look. And it's just gonna be less hassle and less maintenance afterwards. So before we're putting the manifold back in the place where it was, we need to change one of the engine brackets, which is this one, because we're using a different ones to fit the existing subframe. So let's change the bracket. So now the bracket is in. Other issue is now that the dipstick, it doesn't fit anymore where it's supposed to be because we don't have any place to tighten it up. And I'm not too sure if this one is in the correct position now because obviously this and this distance is bigger than it was before. But I'm hoping that this is exactly where it's supposed to be. Like I said, I've never done this before, so when we're gonna try to put the engine inside of the car, into the car, there's gonna be a huge chance that this one is in correct position. So we might need to take it out and put it different one. So we're gonna see that in the future. Now, let's not worry about this. Right, let's put it manifold back in the place where it was. So let's put the manifold back in the place and we're done for now with the engine. And in the next episode, we're gonna start working on a chassis where it's gonna be a lot of cutting, a lot of grinding, and a lot of sanding. Let's work on this and we're finished for for now.
I saw your face right in front of me, your warmest smile that I couldn't keep. But was it all a dream? Please don't leave me on my own. Pack the bags and close the door and drive away alone.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. See ya!